122, we pick up Hallander. No, sorry, we pick up McCann in place of Hallander. We don't protect McCann, and he goes to the Kraken and has more than 27 goals this year. We are paying John Tavares $11 million a year, and he is somewhere around 27 goals as well. And we gave McCann away because we wanted to protect Dermott. So that's just a waste. Not even a loss, it's a waste. We signed Richie. Richie goes along with a second round pick conditional in 2025 for Lyubushkin. And Lyubushkin's gone. He left as a free agent, so we've got nothing out of this essentially, and we've lost a draft pick, a second round draft pick. You got a 25% chance of winning. People still buy lottery tickets, don't they? Dermott gone for a third round pick in 2022. Here is a win. Here is, I think, a trade we all think is good. We gave up 2 second round picks, 2022 and 2023. Don't know who they are, who were picked or who was available or whatever, but for Giordano and Blackwell. Blackwell doesn't play much, but Giordano has been excellent. I mean, I think there's got to be no better value for money defender in the NHL at the moment. Absolute stud, especially when Riley went down. He was playing all kinds of minutes. He's got to be good for Sandin and Liljegren in the dressing room, not to mention Hall. I think that's great. I think that's a really, really solid trade. Very, very good. So that's probably the first one. This is a strange one. Mrazek was signed as a free agent. We traded him along with a first round pick for a second. Which pick was that? Let's just check. 2022 first round pick. So I don't know who we picked with that. I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, that's all right. We'll get into that later. So we traded down in order to dump Mrazek. I mean, I don't know. What are you going to say about that? It's a loss. Hunt for Malgin. I mean, Malgin was on our second line, but not good enough to play the third line. I don't know. I suppose the idea was Hunt would bring some grit to the third and fourth lines. Can't score. He can't score, and you need him to. So, yeah, it's just whatever. It's a waste, really. Timmins, I believe Timmins is not a bad defender. He's, the 8th defender on the team after Hall, ostensibly, somewhere around there. It would be really great to see the team work with him, keep him, bring him in slowly, no pressure. No Timmins is going to save the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just let him learn the game, let him learn from Gio, from the coaches. And, maybe he would develop into a 5th or 6th defender. Why not? That would be a win if he did that. Basically, Ottawa wanted to dump Murray because he was inconsistent and injured, and we got a 3rd and a 7th out of them for taking him on. They wanted to dump his contract. So, whatever. I think the difficulty here is he's obviously going in the playoffs. He's unreliable. To put him forward as our top goalie going into a season is an absolute joke. It's an Ottawa Senators cast off on a team that's better than the Ottawa Senators. We're talking about potentially the last years of one or two or all of Marner, Matthews, Nylander, and that's the goalie we're putting in. That's our guy, So, I mean, it's just absolutely mismanaged. The team's just been mismanaged so badly. So we're going into the playoffs in 25 games or so. We trade away a first, a third, and a second. Godet and Abramovich, these guys are nothing probably. I know Godet's not that much of a hope. It's tricky because of his age, O'Reilly. It's great because of his experience, leadership. I think he looks like a super player. I mean, I like his attitude. I like his mentality. We need more of this. Basically, if Dubas had been doing this way back when, we would be in a far better place right now. You know, not doing this kind of trade. We have to talk about that. But if he had been going for guys like this, have that well-rounded two-way game. The Trevor Moores, the Kadris, the guys who are a threat offensively. They don't have to be one-dimensional monkeys, but they can play both ends of the rink. Now, of course, the problem here, very obvious problem, without getting into it too much, everyone's gone over it, and I'll just give you the basic, is that they are UFAs, and so is most of the third and fourth line. Throw Bunting in there, throw Samsonov in there. There are a lot of UFAs, and the question is, will O'Reilly take a hometown discount? Maybe. I've heard that he's not happy with the Toronto media. No surprise. If he does, great. But do we have the cap space for him? Not sure. We need a goalie. Are we going to go with Murray again next year? Surely not. Are we going to sign Samsonov? Samsonov's playing his life out for a good contract. And again, you sign Samsonov. He's proven in one season. How does he do in the playoffs? Let's see. If he stands up to Tampa and wins a round, I would say give him a contract for sure. But does that leave money for O'Reilly? Not sure. Acciari is a stud. Absolutely love him. Give him a couple million. Send Pierre Engvall back down to the minors. Send him packing. Trade him for a bag of pucks. I don't know. Get guys like Acciari in there, because these are the guys who are going to compete with the Bostons and Tampas. Fabulous. Really, really good acquisition. But he's a UFA and he's a rental. So what do you do? If both of these guys walk, because Acciari can just say, well, I don't want to play here next year. You don't have a goalie, whatever it is, then that's a massive loss, because the chances of us getting past Tampa are, I would put it at like 25%. A lot of things have to come together. We can make another video on that. The chances of us getting past Boston, it happens in the world, but man, they're stacked. And they've just gotten Orlov and what is his name? Hathaway. I mean, they're just a beast to play against. And I think the idea here is these guys turn the Leafs into a tougher team to play against. But the fact that you have to turn the team into a tougher team to play against, and you got to rent some guys and give up all these picks, is saying something about the way the team's constructed. So, I mean, it could be a win. If we get past Boston and Tampa, it's a win. If we don't, I say it's a loss. That is steep. That giving up that, again, that's our future. Where are our first round picks in the last 5 years? Here, with Amarov, who's never going to play when we should have had Schneider. That was the one first round pick we've had. Why? Because Dubas is trying to win now. Well, you build teams, and you put extra people like Orlov on the team because the team is strong, and that guy is going to put that team over the top. And man, he makes that team a juggernaut. It's going to be no surprise if Boston beats Tampa and Boston gets to the Stanley Cup Finals, and no surprise if they win. If Toronto gets to the finals, or gets past Tampa even, or gets past Boston, that'll be a huge surprise for me. If they will win a cup, it would just knock me completely off my seat. So I don't think you make those trades because you're desperate. and because you want to save your job, and you're mortgaging our future. People say, well, who cares about the future? Well, the future is going to be in 24 when Matthews and Nylander are up, 25 when Tavares and Marner are up. We've got no picks, no young guys coming up. Some of those guys are leaving because they're going to want massive amounts of money. And you pay the piper, for these losses. I don't know if I can zoom out of this or not, but you pay for these losses. You can paper over the cracks with signing free agents, which we'll look at, but they're expensive, and free agents usually get more money than they're worth because they've just come off of one of their better seasons. So I don't like any of these trades, really, to be honest. This is I think something we could look at is Montreal's in a better position. We got Kerfoot, we lost Kadri, Jersey, Grumston, first round pick, Brown, Marchment. So this is backwards. Marchment out, Malgin in. I don't know, it's Marchment out, Malgin in, yeah. We lost Moore, Campbell to free agency, another first round pick, blown. Opportunity to get a stud defenseman gone. Foligno wasted a first rounder. Barabanov could have been a player. Let's experiment with Richie. No, it doesn't work. We get Lyubushkin. He's off. Then he's gone. McCann, lots of potential. No, we're going to protect Dermott. No, we're going to give Dermott away for a third. It's just infernal. I don't see much of what Dubas has done working out. And I don't think you can look at all of this and say, well, it's all bad luck. And I don't think you can look at it and say, we had to, or we had to, or we had to. And you can't just say it's all bad luck. Oh, Muzzin can't play anymore. Oh, bad luck, Toronto. Barry's gone. That's not bad luck. Kadri won a cup. That's not bad luck. Kerfoot is what he is. That's not bad luck. It's just it's a lack of putting these guys you have in the right place and doing what you can with them. I think that is the issue. And why are you giving up a first round pick when you can't sign the guy? Look at what Lou just did with Bo Horvat in New York. Signs him 2 days later, 8-year contract, $6 or $7 million. Horvat's playing a good two-way game. He's playing all the big minutes and scoring goals. And we get a guy and we let him go, and we crumble. The Mariners of the world crumble versus Montreal. A Montreal team that was in the Canadian division and was pretty weak. So let me know what you guys think. If you disagree, tell me. But I'm in fear that Shanny will try to cover his tracks to back his guy because he's the one who put him in there, and give Dubas another 3 years. What's Dubas going to do in 3 years? He's got no picks. He's going to sign people. I don't know. It's you're going to sign Bunting. You're going to let Bunting go. Then who are you going to get in? Another Nick Ritchie? I don't know. I don't like the way the team's managed. I think Dubas has just tried to win too quickly. He's not built anything, and he's ridden the back of the big three, and now the big four. And don't know. Don't like it. It's interesting times ahead, folks. Interesting times ahead.